So Suzanne,
Okay,
Brian, and Christina are,
good morning. This is the Troy Community Land Bank, January 27th, 2021 meeting pursuant to Executive Order 202. Chair, can you please call the roll?
Yes, good morning. Suzanne Spellin. Brian Barker. Jeanette Nicholson.
Here.
John Cubitt.
Here.
John Carmelo.
Here.
Andrew Cooper.
Here.
Patricia Riley.
Here, good morning.
Christina Maribel. Albert Watson.
Here.
Good morning, all. And also in attendance, we have Catherine Hedgeman and Tony Tazi.
here.
Okay, I can declare that we do have a quorum assembled. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Did we all have an opportunity to review the December 16th, 2020 meeting minutes?
Yeah. Yes.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
John Cubitt, do I have a second?
I'll second. Jeanette.
Jeanette, okay. So we have on the table in front of us today, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 resolutions. We also, obviously the committee reports, and then we are going to adjourn to executive session. We have a few things that we need to discuss in attorney-client privilege. So do we have any time constraints for any of our directors today?
This is Suzanne. I'm in here in case you didn't see me. I'm on my phone.
Hi, Suzanne. Okay. Suzanne
Hi.
Spellin is in attendance.
I have this is Andrew. I have a 10 o'clock. Got to be up by 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I have another one at 10 too.
At 10 for me too. Hopefully that's long enough.
I'm
I have a
hoping we'll-
9:30. Pat
I'm
Riley
hoping
here.
we'll
I
be
have a
done.
9:30. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I'm hoping that we'll be done by 9:30. I just wanted to make sure that we were all able to cover everything we needed to cover. So we're going to go right into the resolution of the annual housekeeping resolution. Do I have a motion to put that on the table for discussion?
Motion.
Okay, second.
Second,
Okay. Kate, it's all you.
Can I just ask who is on the line for area code 917?
yeah, that's me, Suzanne.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And then we have another 51878 something. Let's see.
That's Pat Riley. That's
Okay,
Pat
just
Riley.
wanted to make sure. Okay,
788-8890. Yeah, I just had to go off video for a while.
sure, no problem. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have any other guests.
Right. Nope.
Okay, so the housekeeping resolution. There's a couple things. The treasurer's position is open. That really needs to get filled. And then there's committees. And I know that we need to revisit those committees, Heather, for the upcoming year to see who wants to be on what. So executive, of course, is pretty clear with your chair, vice chair, and secretary. And then we just need to work through the other ones and put Christina and Pat too, I think, on a committee as well.
Okay. So just going over the resolution, and I'm sure that you, if we need to revisit these committees, just looking, I mean, is this a resolution that we vote on today? Because they might be changing.
Right, so this is to start the discussion to approve the new committees. This is what you approved last year, okay? These are the current ones. So it looks like most people are on a committee except for Pat and Christina.
And
So-
yeah, and Albert.
Yep, and
Yep.
so we really do need people on finance and I'm looking here. Marketing, finance, marketing, A&D.
Yeah, we have Jeanette. Yeah, okay. So, and we also need to talk about the treasurer position.
Yes,
So why don't we handle that first?
Okay,
So is that something that we nominate somebody and then we all vote, or how does that process? Walk me through that.
yes.
I'd like to nominate Albert.
Really?
Should we discuss the responsibilities of that role
Yes.
for everyone to understand before anyone agrees or disagrees about
Yes.
any particular decision that gets
Especially,
made?
especially for Albert.
Yes. Thank you, Andrew. No, thank you. All right, Kate, can you put together a little timeline for us? Is this something that has to be addressed today, or is this something that we should start having internal communications about?
Well, as you know, if you don't take care of this stuff, it slips away. The Paris report is going to require the committee lists, and technically you should have updated committee lists and board members on your website to comply with the ABO requirements. So, yeah.
When
I
is
mean,
that?
you don't have to do it today, but you're going to hit another meeting and it probably won't get done. So that's why I'm putting it on.
No,
Yeah.
we'll have it done by the next meeting. And we'll make it a priority.
Is anybody interested? For instance, Albert, would you find this an appealing role?
Well, I'd like somebody to talk to me about it. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about
I
it.
think-
I'm not
I
even
think-
sure, I'm just getting to learn how this thing is working. So, it's all new to me. So,
As you can, I think what we should do is we should reach out to every board member and find out if anybody is interested in assuming of course, I don't always need to be chair. So if someone else would like to take over as chair for a bit, that's fine by me too. I, of course, will be happy to honored to continue on if need be. Certainly don't take that as a signal that I don't want to do it anymore. I most certainly do. But if anybody is interested in holding one of the executive committee positions, it comes to a point that if we don't get any volunteers, then obviously we're going to reach out to the people that we feel that are capable. And I think we're all capable of holding that position. But some education is needed as to the role and the responsibilities of the treasurer. So I think what I would like to do is, Kate, in the next week or two, maybe schedule we were supposed to have some kind of training meeting. And could we kind of wrap the two together, the committees, the executive committees, the roles and responsibilities into some kind of training in the next week or two?
Sure. Well, the board training is something that is going to take probably like 2 hours though. So generally I don't cover necessarily the roles of each individual officer, but if you refer to the bylaws, I believe it's in there.
Okay. So maybe we could just do like a review of what that is and then maybe a question and answer for those that are interested.
Okay.
Is everybody in agreement with that and maybe scheduling something in the next few weeks?
I like that idea. I think it would be helpful to send out a written. Well, I mean, I guess it's all here in the resolution, like where what the open positions are. So, like Kate, I think
Okay.
you said, or someone as we went through this said something about marketing, and I was like, well, we have 3 people, or is that enough? And then I'm like, oh, maybe there's supposed to be 4, and then I realized I don't know. So, like, I'm not clear myself how what the requirements for each committee are, and I'm betting they're in the bylaws.
Well, the minimum requirement is 3 and you need 2 for a quorum, right? So the more people on the committee is good, because if you don't have enough, you won't have a quorum and be able to have meetings. And that's been an issue in the past. But yeah, and I mean, this all goes to, and it's a good point, Heather. And of course, I'm always thinking of this, but getting everybody to commit is always tough. I do think the board needs a refresher on duties. I do think that, you know, we haven't really had a chance to put together a board orientation. You know, that's something that's required by the ABO, as well as, you know, some training on this. So I'm happy to do it, but I just know with schedules and whatnot, you know, it's going to be at least a 2-hour thing. You know, we'll have to schedule that separate from a board meeting.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a list, Tony, and work with Tony on this, a list of the open positions on both the executive committee and all the other committees. So also I am seeing on the A&D committee, it is, we're missing Jeanette's name on that. Jeanette is also with Brian. Brian is the chair on that, and myself. So we will, and we have some openings because Sharon Nichols is no longer on with us. And then if somebody has an interest, the committees that are the most active, which is the finance committee meets every month, the A&D committee meets every month. Suzanne, how often does the marketing committee meet?
I would say every 3 months or so. It's dependent on what's been going on, and we haven't had much going on. So, but we have had a meeting in the last month or two.
Okay, we also have a hiring committee, which I'm not seeing on here, and that consisted of Andrew, Suzanne, and myself, unless I'm missing that on this. So Tony and I will just work together on putting together a quick snapshot and what the responsibilities are, at least the reference of the bylaws of what the responsibilities are. Governance committee, I can't remember the last time, John, you and Andrew and I met on that. And
Surprised to see my name there.
Yeah.
What? I'm on the governance committee?
I think the last time we met, Richard was still part of
I
it.
think so.
Now, remember, you know, that is an old resolution back from, I think, the end of 2019, beginning of 2020. So yes, some things have changed since
Yeah.
then.
Yes.
And that's the whole point of talking about it. And I
Okay.
mean, technically, you know, all the positions are technically vacant. If you're going to re-up and agree to join a committee, you know, we're approving everybody too, not just open slots.
Yes, that would be, so let's, Tony, if you and I want to get together for a phone call maybe on Friday to put something together and then get
Actually,
that
yeah.
out to the board.
Yeah, I think my Friday's pretty good.
Is your Friday okay? All right. So folks, look for that in your email. Think about if there is something that appeals to you and to your interests as far as which committee goes. And we'll get some information, Tony and I together, and also obviously have you look at it first, Kate, before we send it
Sure.
out all willy-nilly. And then we'll enjoy some feedback. And then Kate, if you want to put together how is everybody's availability for that meeting of a board orientation? Is it something that people would like to do in the evening? Or I guess, Kate, when's the soonest you can get that together?
Well, I have that ready to go because
Okay.
it's pretty standard. The one thing I guess I would say, just because we're all remote and it's not like we're showing up in a meeting room,
Mhm.
is the board, especially new members, and I think, you know, every year the point of housekeeping is to revisit your policies too, right? So if you go to the Land Bank's website, you will see all the policies on there. And it's good to, you know, go through the bylaws, go through all the policies that are there, because that's the same thing I would be handing you in paper form if we were sitting at a meeting, right? So, you know, I think maybe we can think about either, you know, Google Sheets or something where, you know, we have a link that's always there where the board can go and look at certain things if they want to, but it's always on the website, you know, and that's really what would be in the handbook anyway. But I think that's a good place to start.
Okay. All right. So this is obviously something we're not going to be voting on today.
Nope, but it served its purpose for discussion.
Yeah, thanks for shaking things up.
Yep.
Get the teed up.
All right. So look for that email this Friday. And any other commentary or questions on this topic? Everybody's super excited and they want to be on every single committee.
Yes.
Just making sure you're listening. All right. So we have in front of us a resolution approving the application for the additional PPP funds. Do I have a motion to put that on the table for discussion?
I'll motion.
I
This is
move.
Andrew.
Okay, second, Suzanne.
Okay. Tony, you want to walk us through what's happening with that?
Yep, so this is the payroll protection program, round two. Our accounting company, Bowers, has been working with Northern Credit Union. Bowers is out towards Syracuse. And I believe that's where Northern Credit Union is located. So Bowers has been pretty much packaging up all their PPP2 applications with Northern Credit Union. I talked to Patty Mills of Bowers about whether to wait, because at first I wanted to go with Pioneer, and she suggested the longer you wait, the less likely you are to get funding. So 2 Fridays ago, Northern Credit Union called me in the evening and put the application together. The poor fellow was working till 2 a.m. So the bottom line is that the application going in is for $17,914.75, and it's Northern Credit Union. That is to cover 2.5 months of salary, rent, utilities, and maybe 1 or 2 other minor things. The application has been submitted to the Small Business Administration, and once the SBA comes back and confirms that the application is valid, I guess is the term, then we should see funding in 1 to 5 days. That's been Northern Credit Union's experience. There's a technicality to this. For Northern Credit Union to provide a loan, and again, this is a forgivable loan, they need us to open an account with them, and the cost to open an account is a minimum $5 fee.
Do you want the $5?
I've got my
Pass a cup.
Sorry, no one's on that committee.
I think we can cover that
Okay.
this week.
So I'm seeing a few things in this resolution that need to be revised. We need to take off Sharon Nichols. We need to add as present and add Albert Watson. And we
Yeah.
also need to change the bank name from Pioneer Bank to the correct lender
Yes,
that
so
you applied
just,
through.
just so you know, yesterday, Tony sent me Albert's oath and the official appointment to the board. So I went through and changed all the resolutions, and Tony also did provide me with the correct bank information, so
Okay.
that when Brian goes to sign them, it will be corrected.
Thank you.
Yep,
I'm just taking over for Sharon.
yes.
Okay. All right. Is there any other, so Tony, so you have to open a bank account with
And,
that, and then,
and board authorization to submit the application, I guess, technically.
Okay.
And Tony, this is forgivable, but it's not guaranteed forgivable? Or are we, because I got to say, I don't know where
It's
where
not
these
guaranteed.
plans lie currently. Who knows?
It's not guaranteed.
Right.
Essentially, it gets forgiven if that funding has been expended, and I forget what the course of time is. And as long as the staffing remains the same, so you guys can get rid of me. You just have to replace me with another person of like FTE.
And what's
I believe-
the,
oh.
if we had to, if we ended up having to pay it back, what rate are we paying, or do we know?
That I don't know. I can find out and email you.
I mean,
I
I assume
believe-
it's market rate. I'm not that concerned. I was just curious.
No, I believe it's between 1% and 3%.
Yeah, I mean, rates
think
are
not
low.
nonprofits are 1, but don't quote me on that. The most it'll be is 3.
Yeah.
And on this round, it's basically the same thing, but they also have extended the time frame of which you can spend it, because the first one was just that 2 months, right? And everybody was like, wait a minute. So I think you've got several months to spend it, and then it's forgivable. You know, you would just submit all the documentation.
But
The
you
only,
have-
the
you
only
have
way
to-
it would not be forgivable is if we didn't spend it on what we were supposed to. But we have to, because you need to plug the budget with that.
But you have to carry it as a loan until it's
Yes,
actually get documentation that it has been, turned into a grant, so.
Okay.
see, you're already the treasurer, Albert.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Who made that motion?
It was Christina.
Well, Christina, you made the second. I didn't hear who made the motion.
I
Second.
Okay,
Christina, you're, okay, hi.
Hi. I snuck
I
in a
didn't
few
catch
minutes
you.
ago.
I didn't catch you at the initial roll call, so welcome.
Thank you. I snuck in a few minutes.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to vote aye. This is Heather King, the chair. Suzanne Spellin,
Aye.
Albert Watson,
Aye.
Brian Barker, in case he snuck in too. Andrew Cooper,
Aye.
Jeanette Nicholson,
Aye.
John Cubitt,
Aye.
John Carmelo,
Aye.
Christina Maribel,
Aye.
Patricia Riley.
Aye, sorry.
That's okay. I appreciate the courtesy of the mute. This is one of the first meetings where we haven't had dogs barking and, okay, let's see.
That's why I do it.
Uh-huh. All right, we have in front of us now a resolution for the revised the master agreement between SEAT and Troy Community Land Bank. Do I have a motion to put it on the table for discussion?
Motion.
Second.
All right, they're both tied. All
Yeah.
right. Kate, Tony, you want to walk us through this one?
Sure. So, as you know, with the grant funding from Enterprise, we added our community liaison person. We also had some changes to make to the seat contract because of COVID and, different delays, and how we were actually going to spend the money and what seat would actually be doing for us. So Tony and I thought it would be a good idea to go back and revise the current contract because it did not include hiring the community liaison. Because I think at the time, this was over a year ago that we did this, we weren't quite sure yet what the community liaison position was going to be doing and how it was going to work and so on and so forth. So you'll see that the contract is revised from $70,000 per year to $117,000. And the reason for that is because we're now putting the salary portion of $47,000 into that number to pay seats so that they can hire and have the community liaison as their employee. So that was a big change. We also took a look at the schedule and the scope of work that SEAT would be doing for the land bank to tighten that up a little bit. And Tony and I had a great conversation about that because, enforcement is definitely one of the things that they are a big help with and can continue to be. So, we put that in there about inspecting our properties when they're under enforcement notes and providing reports. We also put reporting in there and assistance in reporting to enterprise. So we expanded the scope a little bit, not necessarily adding things that we shouldn't have had in there in the first place, but we didn't. So, I think, Tony, if you have anything else you want to add to that, go ahead.
I think this was more or less to modify the agreement now that we've worked as partners together with SEAT to make it reflect what's really happening and what the real needs are. The one point I just want to make sure everybody understands is that 47,500 for the community liaison is 100% funded by enterprise community funding. So that's not out of our pocket.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yep.
But no, otherwise, I think it reflects what our needs are, and I think what SEAT is expecting to do for us.
Okay.
Is SEAT
Go ahead.
aware of any of the, sorry?
No, I was just gonna say Article 3.1, not to exceed $70,000, and then you have 117 in parentheses.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
So this is Andrew. Can I just ask a quick
Oh,
question?
yeah.
So is SEAT aware of the proposed changes? They know they're in agreement or have no concerns with any adjustments that we're making here, or have they not seen this yet? Or
As far as I know, I didn't send it. Tony and I talked about this yesterday. Until this board approves the proposed contract, it really isn't official. So we will send that over. I don't see why not. We're just putting on paper what they're already doing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I don't see any potential red flags there, but
I'll motion
Okay.
to approve.
That was Andrew.
That was Andrew. Yeah.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Heather King, I vote aye. Suzanne Spellin,
Aye.
Albert Watson,
I think I should abstain from this. I don't really know much about it.
okay. Jeanette Nicholson,
Aye.
John Cubit,
Aye.
John Carmelo,
Aye.
Christina Maribel,
Sorry, I was muted. Aye.
Patricia Riley.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. So we have in front of us the resolution to reappoint the Hedgeman Law Firm as counsel. Do I have a motion to put that on the table for discussion?
Motion.
Motion. Oh,
All right, Ms. Hedgeman.
Our contract, or my contract with you usually lasts about a year to 2 years. And so it was time to re-up the retainer agreement as proposed in your board packets.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
Are there any significant changes to this agreement from prior agreements?
Yes, the rates have changed. I believe, and I'm sorry, this morning I'm foggy, but I think I came on in 2016, early 2016, and we've had the same agreement for almost 5 years. So that's why the fees have increased.
I will say for the record, the fee is still less than what I have seen other law firms charge. But it is more consistent with the level of service that Kate does provide to us.
Are there any, I read this and I'm not remembering, and now I'm looking at it again. are there any difference, like, does anything change with more or less time, more hours, less hours? Are there minimums, maximums? I don't know, that kind of stuff. Or do we anticipate, Kate, you spending more? And I understand it's sort of difficult to be asking you questions about our contract with you. So, so just put that out there. Do we anticipate any significant changes in the amount of hours that you bill us or that you spend on our work?
I think, and I haven't been to a finance committee meeting to look at what the budget is, but year to year, I would say it's relatively the same amount of time. Okay. So, when the rate goes up per hour, of course, it's more money for that particular amount of time, right? I will say this year in particular, and the end of last year, the hours are up, but that coincides with enforcement litigation that we had to do, right? That coincides with, issues with some of our projects that we'll talk about, in a little bit. So the increase is there. And I think when you look at the budget for this year, and I know we put in a placeholder budget, I think with Paris or the ABO, because we had to back in October, the finance committee probably should, just to be, prudent and increase the legal services budget just somewhat so that you can make sure that you've earmarked enough for the increased work. As far as any other things on the horizon other than enforcement and some of our projects that we need to wrap up, and you never know, right?
Yeah.
I don't see anything beyond. Yeah, I don't see anything beyond that right now, but that's what the increase really has been, is those particular matters.
Thanks.
I would also note that there's, Kate and I communicate all through the day pretty much all the time. And, she's not the type of attorney that bills for every single email. So there's a lot of time we don't get billed for.
Thanks for reminding me.
What? Shh, quiet.
Tony, we'll talk
That's on the
later.
record, Tony. What are you doing?
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve?
I
Motion.
move that we approve,
Okay.
I'll
or
second.
second, whichever.
Okay. Let's see. So Heather King, I vote aye. Suzanne Spellin, you made the motion, correct?
Correct.
Albert Watson,
Aye.
John Cubitt,
Aye.
Jeanette Nicholson,
Aye.
Andrew Cooper,
Aye.
Pat Riley,
Aye.
John Cormello,
Aye.
Christina Maribel.
Aye.
Okay. Thanks for sticking around, Kate.
Yeah, here.
It'll be fun.
Okay, we have in front of us now resolution appointing Kate as an officer. Do I have a motion to put it on the table for discussion?
Motion.
Okay, I'll second. So Kate, you want to explain the need for this?
Yes. So we talked about this, I think, a little bit maybe last year, and I was torn between once you make somebody an officer of the corporation, there's liability there, right? So the reason I'm asking for it, and the resolution is drafted relatively narrowly, is because with COVID, and I've done this with other clients, just so you know too, 103 Ferry, 899 River, and 790 River are going to close here this week and next week. So because of COVID and the remoteness and everything, everything's being done remote. It's not an in-person closing. So what that does is it causes Tony and I to have to shuffle paper and then mail this one and do this one and blah, blah, blah. By appointing me an officer, I can sign corporate documents, including deeds and other transfer documents, without having to go to Tony for signature. So I can close it by myself for you. So that's really what I'm asking for. And of course, by ways of checks and balances, Tony is copied on, all the documents and all the communication between me and the person and their attorney that we're closing with. It worked well over the summer with the Albany Land Bank, and we were doing a ton of closings by mail. And logistically, it's just so hard to, it takes an extra week to mail something to Tony. Do you know what I mean? Or drop it off or whatever we're going to do. So in this resolution, I'm asking for narrow authority to, it's almost like giving me a power of attorney in a sense, to do your closings for you.
Well, that sounds very reasonable. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Jeanette, do we have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
John Cubitt? Okay, Heather King, I vote aye. Suzanne Spellin,
Aye.
Albert Watson,
Aye.
Andrew Cooper? Did we lose Andrew?
So I'm not his head.
My keyboard wasn't unmuted me, sorry. Aye.
Okay, that's okay. I believe Jeanette, all right, so we'll go Jeanette Nicholson,
Aye.
John Cubitt,
Aye.
John Carmelo,
Aye.
Christina Maribel,
Aye.
Patricia Riley.
Aye.
Okay. All right, that's everything as far as resolutions. Thank you, everybody. We are going to move over to the committee reports. We do have, and I think this will kind of tie everything up nicely, is that finance report that Tony put together. It kind of encompasses the cash flow status, the payables, what's due. It does cover the 3 closings that Kate did mention, which will significantly help the cash flow. And then it also encompasses the status of some of the projects and where they're going, and as well as your discussions with SEAT regarding potential grants and alternative funding sources, Tony?
Yes, actually, I have a meeting tomorrow with the person that SEAT uses. And the direction that they are suggesting we go in is more of a organizational sustainability plan, rather than just trying to figure out, what grants we can get from here or there or anywhere, although that would be part of it. So, I'll see how the conversation goes. When we,
Okay.
that person is Lori, I forget her last, Lori Ballard.
All right, so do you want to just do the bullet points? If you want to skip over the 791 River Street, because I think we're going to address some of that within the executive session. But if you just want to give over, has anybody, let me back up a little bit. Are there any questions on Tony's financial report? No? All right, Tony, you just want to do a quick, do you think we need Tony to do a quick snapshot on everything, or would we like to adjourn to executive session? Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Okay, let me turn the recording off. All right, let's try this again. We need a motion to adjourn to executive session for an attorney-client privilege discussion regarding 791 River Street.
I will make that motion. This is Heather King, the chair.
Second.
I second.
That is Suzanne Spellin, vice chair.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Okay, we need a motion to adjourn from executive session back into the regular meeting.
I'll make that motion. This is the chair, Heather King.
I'll second Jeanette.
Okay. Is there any
Uh,
other old news to discuss before we adjourn for the month? Okay. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Everybody have a good month. Look forward to that email on Friday.
Yes, indeed.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
day,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye, everybody.